So today we're going to be DIYing a beat up old desk into something kind of folksy bohemian. So I apologize in advance for the bad lighting in this video. I'm shooting it in the basement because it's snowing outside, so all the colors are a little bit off. So you want to start by getting yourself an old piece of furniture. In this case I'm using an old desk that used to be my cousin's when he was little. So Kinsey, if you're watching, this used to be your dad's when he was about your age. And then when he got rid of it, my siblings and I put it in our treehouse, and now it is in my craft room. But it's pretty old and beat up, so it needed a new coat of paint. So if your piece of furniture has any drawers, you'll want to remove those and do those separately. In my case, this drawer was gone a long time ago because this is an old desk, so I didn't have to remove anything. And then you want to sand your entire piece of furniture. I sanded off everything that was loose, but anything that was on there solidly, I left on because I like the little bumpy effects underneath the paint. Gives it kind of an antique look that I'm going for, so I left it on, but if you want a smooth surface, then sand off all the paint. So I started with kind of a bright sunny yellow, and you can use either a regular paintbrush or a foam brush for this. And I painted the yellow on those inserts, the indentations in the desk. And I had to do several coats because I've got that old paint in there, and it takes a few to cover that up. But it was worth it because you can see the texture makes it look really old, which is what I was going for. So I took kind of a reddish brown, and I took a stencil. And you want to use a foam brush for this because you want to dab the brush up and down to get the paint in the stencil. Because this is not craft paint, this is actual furniture paint. So if you brush it, it'll slip under the stencil and it won't look good. So there's the one on the top, and I put a stencil in each of those indentations, the bird in the middle, and then the bottom matches the stencil on the top. Then I use that same reddish brown to go along the very top of the desk. Again, I had to do several coats to cover up the old paint on it, but I like the worn paint underneath it, the texture, which you can't really see here, and the color is really weird because, again, I'm in the basement, but so the red matches the stencil color. And then I just took that brush and I went around and I very lightly painted stripes around the indentations, and I painted it light enough with just one coat to make sure that you could see some of the yellow underneath. So it's just a really light stroke, and it makes it look, again, very old and antique. And so once that was dry, just taped it off with some painter's tape. And got myself kind of a bluey green. It's a little lighter than the old green, and I like it a little better. And then I just painted all the rest of the desk that hadn't been painted with the other colors. Again, leaving the bumpy paint underneath for the antique texture. So then I peeled off all the painter's tape, and I had my nice little indentations with smooth, clean lines. So then on the top side of the desk, I drew a mandala, and I did this totally freehand, which I'm kind of proud of. But if you don't want to do it freehand, if you're not sure about your drawing skills, you can find stencils and do it with that. And I used a gold artist pen to do this, so it made it easy because I could draw. Painting would be a little bit hard if you're doing it freehand, but if you're using a stencil, then you could just paint over it. That'd be pretty simple. But since I was freehanding it, I did use the pen to make it easier. And it took me about 3 hours, 2 or 3 hours, something like that. I didn't really time it, but it was quite a while. And it gave me quite a cramp in my hand, but it was worth it because I got exactly what I wanted, because I couldn't find any mandala stencils I liked. So then I went back to my other stencil, and I put them in each corner of the desk and colored over them with that same gold pen. And I put one of those in each corner of the desk. Again, you really can't see it. The lighting here is just like horrible in the basement, but yeah, it's one of those gold symbols in every corner. So that is the desk. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. I will not see you Thursday because it's Thanksgiving, and I know that for some families that's just a dinner, but in my family it's actually a huge 3-day event consisting of a lot of food, chess, poker, and several epic battles of Link and Toon Link trying to defeat one another. So I will be off doing that, but I will see you next week with a craft tutorial on Monday, and then the first part of a Bellatrix Lestrange costume on Thursday. So see you next week, guys.